There we go. Yeah, so hello everyone. First of all, I would just like to welcome all of you in this webinar, wherein we will be discussing on player customizations. How can you can make your player in an effective manner, so that it's more engaging towards your audience. And eventual goal would be to own your audience via your video player, apart from your content, right? Uh, so I'm just sharing my screen and taking the webinar through. Meanwhile, please feel free to stop me anywhere in between if any one of you have any queries or anything. Eventually, after I finish, we will be just having a quick Q&A session wherein we can discuss the queries separately as well. So first of all, I would just like to show the source of the data and the source of the touch points which I will be just taking you guys through. This, as you can see, is a doc page of Gumlet, that is docs.gumlet.com/docs/player customize. And this is the ultimate source of today's webinar that I'll be picking from. So without wasting any more time, let's delve into the call. All right. So right now I am at the homepage of Gumlet, and once I log in, I'll be yeah. So we just landed on the Gumlet dashboard. This is how it looks, right? Uh, so right, if I click into this video section, there are multiple options, right? And once if I go into collections, and let's say any specific collection, if I click, I will be landed onto the multiple this particular page, wherein I have multiple buttons, right? So I can update collection details. I can go into player settings, channel settings, video protection, and delete button, right? The action. So today's webinar, as the agenda has already been set, is on the player customization, player settings, right? So once if I so before I start with the player customization thing, I would just like to take this particular bit, that why we decided to put the player customization in collection. I'll take a hypothetical example. Let's suppose uh, I own a digital marketing agency and I have many clients, right? So for each client, I will be having separate set of videos which I would be showcasing to them, which I would be, in utilizing in any way. For each particular client, my profiles would be different, my player settings would be different. If I want, again, we will come to that particular bit, but just a sneak peek, if I have to give you guys, I will be, adding, customizing the player in such a way in the brand identity of my client, right? So let's say I have three clients and I can create three different collections, and now each collection would have a unique player settings what I will be setting up. And in CMS, as you can see, each collection have like multiple set of videos you can add via CMS, right? So let's say I have a collection called as meet recordings. Therein all of the videos will have similar player settings. A collection called as test collection will have all of the videos in a different player settings. So coming back to collections, let me just uh, so before even starting with that, let me just take a sample video and just upload it over here in the CMS. So I have the sample video. I can just go with the default profile and I can just drop the video, right? So this video is created. Let me just name it as test video and just description as test video. All right. Yeah. Now in the test collection, I have a new video, right? Whatever player customizations we will be doing in this particular webinar will be associated with this particular video. Now, once I go in, again, this is something related to the video CMS. If I just show you guys the video, this is a sample video that I uploaded. Again, the player, if you can see the color of this particular buttons, it's all in the default mode right now. That is the default player of Gumlet, right? Now I want to make it according to my brand. Now I want to customize this so that it revolves around my brand identity, right? So this is a sample video. Again, I'll just come back to collections and I'll just go to test collection, right? And I'll come to player settings. Now, all of these, each and every options, I'll be taking you guys through, and I'll be in short one liner. I'll be just giving a brief description of what this particular uh, button means, or what this particular feature means in general, right? So let's start with the basic settings. First is obviously, preload videos and page load. Now, as the name suggests, once if this particular video is embedded to any page or any web page, once if someone refreshes that, or even loads for the first time, my particular video will automatically be preloaded. And the reason why we by default it's turned on is that to reduce the video startup time, so that your end user could have a remarkable video streaming experience the moment someone clicks on the play button. Without any lag or without any time, the video starts to play. So that is this particular button all about. Next is autoplay video. Now if I do that, what happens is that if someone again, as the name suggests, I don't need to go much deep into that, but if someone just loads a page, video automatically starts. Now there is one catch over here, is that video will start in general, if someone refreshes the page or anything like that, we even get a lot of queries. On our support channel that video is on in mute mode, right? Now I just want to clear that particular query of our customers that we have been receiving of lately. The reason for that is that it is related to your browser, right? So it's a browser function, and browser automatically enforces that particular bit. So even if at the player level we want that not to happen, that is supposed to happen. So until and unless a user goes on and unmutes the video would be starting up in the mute mode. So that again, that covers the autoplay videos. Next is include SEO metadata. Now if someone just turns this on, what will happen is that my videos, whatever in this particular player I add, in this particular collection I add, the videos will be indexed in Google and have multiple factors, multiple benchmarks that SEO indexing is related to. If I have to show you exactly what are the general structured data points for SEO, these are the general video SEO related data points. Again, let me just be very clear with this, that this is just a button to turn on if you want your videos to be indexed on Google or indexed on Bing or indexed on any search engine. There is no such effort that needs to be put in from your side for this particular thing. If you have description, name, thumbnail, these particular things are updated automatically, if this particular button is turned on, video will start getting indexed. And this way the video will be along with the thumbnail, along with the description, video will start be getting indexed on the search engine. And the benefit is that obviously it helps in getting a exact reach that you want for your particular videos. And these are the recommended properties. Again, as you can see, content URL, eventually where the video is pointing out to, the duration, embed URL, expires, publication, and returns allowed. So not going very deep into SEO, this was the eventual feature that we would be getting out if we turn this on. Next, as the name suggests, there is something called as loop video. So generally, if I have to tell you guys the use case about loop video, let's take, I have a website wherein I have a 2 seconds GIF, or let's say I have a 2 second media clip, and I want that to be playing automatically in the continuous loop. So we can just turn this on. But generally it is turned off because the what we suppose is that video experiences are best if we give maximum rights to a user to select that what they want to see and what they don't want to see. So by default, it's turned off. You can turn it on, no worries in that. Moving on, so by this, I just covered basic settings. I would just like to take a pause for a couple of seconds. If anyone has anything or any query until now, please feel free to ask, or I'll just move on to the advanced settings. Okay, so moving on to the advanced settings. By the way, we will be having, for those of you who joined late, we will be having a dedicated Q&A session once I cover all of the player customizations available in the dashboard. All right, so moving on to the advanced settings. As you guys can see, the first option over here comes off disabling the seek bar. Now, again, that might sound tech little tech heavy, since if I'm a layman and I don't have a lot of knowledge about video and video tech, I might not know that what is a seek bar. So seek bar is generally, once you're playing any video, you have an option to you have an option to take the particular uh, take the particular timestamp to whatever timestamp you want, and maybe you could skip some content, or you could just move back to a content and watch it again. So that is the reason of seek bar. And if I turn this off, we can actually disable that. What I'll so to be very clear, I will again take a use case. For example, let's take, I am a course creator, I create content for my students. Again, I don't want them to miss any part, because generally that has been the tendency in students, that uh, if there is some particular part of a content or some particular part of a video wherein, let's say, I'm talking about xyz formula, or let's say I'm talking about xyz thing which they already know, so they want to skip that particular bit and come to the next thing, come to the next part of the video. But if in case I don't want that to happen, I'm always free to disable the seek bar from this particular button, right? Moving on, disable player controls. So again, generally it is turned off by default. The reason being is that a user could, no longer have control over playing the video, pausing the video, or muting, unmuting, and stuff like that. Generally, if I have to talk about a use case example, it is actually turned off. It is actually turned on. I mean, the player controls are disabled. Let's say if I am embedding a video in my website, so what happens is, if let's say I'm adding a loop video, I would just disable the player controls. So the embed would look like that it is embedded in the website, rather than looking like a separate iframe embed and a separate video player looking like that. If I disable that, I will have a continuous running video in the background, and that would actually look good. Next is the powered by Gumlet. I suppose most of the use cases, not this is not eventually useful, I would say, because if I turned it on, generally we turn it on for our internal videos, and if we want the powered by Gumlet sign right below in the bottom right corner, and if I turn it off, that particular button won't come, right? Next is allow DRM protected videos. So I suppose that most of you would have a basic understanding of DRM. So again, that stands for digital rights management. And what happens is that if I turn it on, if I have a DRM protected video, and if I have set it up the DRM functionality, my video player will automatically act in a way that it has a DRM protected video which is being played, and automatically the controls as such, the no screenshot policy or no screen record policy or such things will automatically be incorporated within the player. So I don't have to worry much. Just turn on the DRM of any particular video. Let's say White Wine for Google, Fair Play for Apple, and then if I just turn it on, the Gumlet player takes control of the video, and I can be sure shot that the piracy is not happening, the content is not getting stolen, and I can maximize my return on investments on my content. All right. So in advanced settings, last but not the least, we have a dynamic watermark feature, a dynamic watermark button. So if I turn this on, and if I'm using this particular Gumlet player, what it will do is key, it'll show that a particular IP address that is associated with the end user's device would be shown on the video somewhere all of the times, so that if in case, let's say, even if I have a DRM protected video, somehow the user had been able to generate a copy of my content, if in case that gets circulated anywhere, I will have a an option to catch hold of that particular imposter if I have the IP address, right? So in fact, I'll show, I'll turn it on and show once we cover this particular section. I will in fact show you guys that without turning the dynamic watermark, how does it looks, and if I turn on, how does it looks, right? So what is the end benefit? So that we will be discussing as well. So we just covered advanced settings, and I'll just again take a pause for a few seconds. If anyone has anything to ask, please feel free to do that. All right, so let's move to the player branding section. Again, this would be the last section for the player customization. Uh, Player customization, as far as player customization is concerned, because advertising and monetization. Again, I'll give a brief, general idea of what it is about, and how can you go around that. But as far as the player and branding and customization is concerned, these three general settings, player setting, sorry, basic settings, advanced settings, and player branding covers it. Right. Now, coming to the player branding, the main part of this particular webinar, I would say, how can I, brand my player in such a way that uh, it's according to my brand tone. It's, the player buttons are according to my brand color. The logos are on place, and I could just have a better, better player design, so that my end user stays with me, and along with the content, I can own my user as well, like own my viewer. So first option over here is to add a logo, and let me just take a sample logo of any brand. Okay, let me just go with Walmart logo again. Just for the just for the educational purpose, I'm no way associated with Walmart. So I'll just take the image link from here, right? So if I just see, there is an option wherein I can just copy the image address. That is eventually the PNG link of this particular logo. You can do that with your particular brand's logo, and just come over here and I'll just paste this. So the PNG link of that particular logo is pasted. Next option is to set the position of my logo. So either I can set it on top left, I can set it on top right, bottom left, or bottom right. So for the time being, let me select bottom right, or okay, let's select top right, so that we have the player seek bar and everything in the bottom. Logo width, again, this is something, in the aspect way, so I'll just take 100 is to 100, width versus height. And again, this last option, I would say the most important thing is to select the player color. So you can select RGB, you can just enter the RGB code of whatever your actual brand color is. For the time being, I'm just going with this, or let me just take any random number. Okay. So this is, let's suppose, my brand's RGB color, and that's it. I'm done with, okay, 1 second. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm done with this. Now I'll just click on save changes. Now what we did is we added a Walmart logo on top left, and did we turn on the dynamic watermark? I don't think so. Yeah, dynamic watermark is turned off for now. Let's just see how the video looks like in this particular test collection. So I will just go in the video, and I'll take a shareable URL. I'll just go to an incognito tab and I'll just paste. So this is how the video looks, and this is how my player looks. So the logo that I added, just comes right on the place where I selected, and the player colors, this particular player button and everything is customized in my particular brand tone. Now, what I'll do is I'll turn on the dynamic watermark for now, and then show you guys that how would it look if the dynamic watermark is turned on. In the meantime, feel free to experiment that with your videos. We would be loving to, we would be love to hear your feedback around this and how could we improve. So coming back to test collection and player settings, I will just turn on the dynamic watermark for now and save changes. By the way, we can, same way we can do for other these buttons as well. If in case anyone wants me to, turn it on and show that particular functionality, I would love to do that. For the time being, I'm just restricting myself to the dynamic watermark for now, since it's a unique feature that I would say my personal feat, my favorite feature. That is why I'm very keen to show that, and the functionality and the use case is great when it comes to dynamic watermark. So again, I'll just copy the shareable URL. I'll paste it over here. And 1 second. I think I didn't save that. Okay. Yeah. So the same way, the dynamic watermark will start coming. I'll again take you through this. And this takes some time to update in the backend because we are taking the shareable URL. But this is how the way it would come. The Walmart logo, the dynamic watermarks, and these are again my personal device from the MacBook that I'm currently using. IP address of that particular associated device and network connection. So it becomes very easy, and in fact, if we have this particular functionality turned on, and if I'm streaming a private content or a premium content, that would eventually uh, have a second check after DRM. But DRM itself is more than enough. I would say we have one of the best in class DRM in Gumlet. You can trust on that. We actually vouch for a lot of enterprise customers using us, that particular DRM functionality. But this adds a layer on top for the video security purposes. So I hope I was able to add some value in this particular session. If anyone has any questions, I would love to answer till here. Else, I would just quickly take a couple of minutes, discuss these three particular bits of advertising and monetization, since it comes under player settings, and then maybe we could start the Q&A. Okay, I'll just quickly, jump into advertising and monetization, these three bits that are here, and then we could maybe just move on to the Q&A. Okay. So, what happens, if let's say I want to advertise, if I'm using multiple advertisers and, I want to monetize my content. Eventually, all bits are related to, the player, right? So player has the data of who has seen the content, who has watched till what time, and how much part of the content is watched, right? So we have these three particular functionalities right now. One is Google VAST tag, one is Google Analytics ID, and the other is Facebook Pixel ID. So what if I add the Facebook Pixel IDs, Google Analytics tag, or VAST tag URL over here, what this will do is that this particular player, whatever the watch data is there, automatically that will be sent to the advertising partners. Let's say we are creating we want to target we want like the from the ad point of view, I'm telling again. Let's say I'm a advertiser, and I want to target a specific set of audience which watches a specific set of content, right? So for example, just to take an example, I would say ki I am a I am a course creator, and I want to target, I'm again as an advertiser, I'm a course creator, and I want to target the students who are studying in XYZ standard. So the students who are watching the content of that particular standard, some of the keywords I would say, and I would just want to target them in the videos. So these bits actually help in better targeting and better conversion, so that the CPC bits could be in a way maximized, and I could earn maximum revenue, maximum monetization and ads revenue on my content. And then I could just save changes and the player will do its job. So I would just take a pause here and we will be moving on to the Q&A session. So
Hi, very helpful webinar. I just had one question with regard to like, what if you don't customize a player at all? Like, what would be the default if I choose not to customize anything?
well, so first of all, thank you for your compliment, I would say, on the webinar. And if in case I don't customize my player, what will happen is the player brand color, the player colors and the player features would be set as a default mode that is inside Gumlet, and the brand colors would be obviously by default of Gumlet. So the play buttons and everything would be of Gumlet's profile, which obviously you don't want your end user to see. You want to see your end user. You want your end user to eventually see something customized to your particular brand set. So that is why we recommend our users to use this particular feature. I hope this helps.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, in the meantime, we are also available on community.gumlet.com for any support, for any feedback you have for us. We would be more than happy to help you out over there. All right. So, and also the recordings of this particular webinar would be available in our community section. In the meantime, if someone wants to access and not getting that, you are most welcome, Jibao. So if in case someone wants and not able to access that, feel free to go to community.gumlet.com, or you can even email to costobat@gumlet.com. So thank you so much again to all of you for joining, and I would be more than happy to answer if in case you have any future questions. I would be always available at yatharth@gumlet.com. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for joining. It was wonderful having you all.